Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Austin, aka Irony MI. In this episode, we'll be talking about a few things that might be kind of touchy subjects for some of you. Now, we don't want to detract from anyone's experience watching or listening to the Cosmic Cast. So, if you don't like to hear people talking about rape or domestic abuse, or if you just don't like to think about those things, we're going to have timestamps that you can skip to so that you can skip those parts if you want. We just want to give you the opportunity to skip if you don't feel like listening to us talk about those things. And yeah, next episode we'll be back to normal. So with that said, let's get started.
Hey horses, welcome to episode 54 of the Cosmic Cast. I am your host, Cosmic Domino, as known as Jacob. Today I am joined with the Angry Demon.
Hey.
Jason. I'm also joined with Super Gaming Dude, as known as Airy.
Hello.
And then, of course, Irony Am I.
If we're all horses, who's riding us?
I am.
Life. Life riding us. Life is riding on our back, abusing our asses. We're trying to trudge forward, but life is trying to hold us down, trying to slow us down.
I was going to say life got crazy backstroke, but...
Anyway, today we are interviewing, once again, MrGirl.
Hey guys.
He came on because he had a problem with his YouTube channel.
Just a
for
little
some reason.
problem, you know. Just a
small little problem.
Yeah.
Nobody can guess why.
Just a little
Nobody
bit
can
of
guess
an
why.
inconvenience.
Happens to all of us.
Oh, it'll happen to you guys one day.
Oh,
No.
for sure. Oh, no, for sure.
I
don't
I
doubt
am
it
positive we will
bet
be
it'll
fine.
happen to Angry Demon first. Let's be real.
I'm fine with that. I don't need my YouTube channel. However, do you have any possible clue why your channel was terminated?
Well, they said it was pornography and nudity was the reason. Now, there was some minimal amount of nudity on the channel. I think we got 3 butts and 1 dick. But in the hold on, in the terms of service, it says that it has to be you're not allowed to have nudity for the purposes of sexual gratification, and I don't think that any of the nudity on the channel could have been construed as pornographic. Also, they say that
It
they'll
was
straight
just there.
yeah. They say that they'll straight up delete your channel if you're posting porn, basically.
Like Etika.
But so, what happened? What?
Oh, that was like when Etika got his channel deleted.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's how he got rid of the channel. He just fucking posted porn.
I
That's
see.
when he was going through his manic episode. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I haven't had one of those yet. So I've been pretty careful to not break the TOS. So my thinking is that they just got so many reports about porn and child exploitation and whatever else people are reporting me for that the bot just deleted the channel and then a human decided not to reinstate it. I don't know. I've appealed. I appealed on Twitter. They said no both times. I'm trying to get some help from some bigger YouTubers to see if they can talk to somebody there. But
They
Anybody reply yet?
said no both times. Like, did they point out any specific videos?
no. But they don't do that. They
Yeah,
don't
they
give
don't.
an explanation. They're just like,
It's like Twitch. They don't specify
Yeah,
why. They just say goodbye.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So
I mean, why do you think... Oh, Paul. Why do you think Jacob is still fucking banned from streaming,
Yeah,
even though
I got-
he's not a child?
I think YouTube's algorithm pinged me as a child, so I don't have the ability to live stream. And no matter how many times I tweet at Team YouTube, they refuse to look at it. They're just like, oh, well, this is the reason why. So yeah, sucks to suck. And it's like, can I just, send a picture of my ID, my social security? Like, how can we do this? Like, yeah, no, we don't do that. Sorry. And it's like, oh, fuck you then.
it has nothing to do with something on your account, like the date of birth on your account or something?
No, I started my account back in 2015, but
Yeah.
I used my actual age. But obviously now that I'm 20, so it
You
shouldn't
think it
matter
would-
either way. It's my
it would
actual
update.
age.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. If they think they're in any danger...
Who
of-
did you reach out to?
YouTubers?
Yeah, for help.
That is classified information.
Okay. That's fair.
Does it have to be classified? Like, can
Does
we
it-
coax it out of you a bit?
No.
Not even a
No,
little
because I have nothing to gain.
teensy-weensy
I have
hint?
nothing to gain by revealing it and everything to lose. So no,
Did the classified people reach back to
Understandable.
you?
I can't answer that. This
Oh
is.
my God.
I know.
Damn.
I know. It's all.
That's
classified.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's all deep cover stuff. I can't reveal that.
Like, is a whole government agent.
If anything goes anywhere and they want to claim credit for reinstating my channel, then I'll let you know.
Aye.
Damn.
I know.
Okay. What are your feelings about that? About your channel gone?
I'm pretty pissed off. It's
Yeah.
annoying. I'd say annoyed is the main one. It's
Yeah.
it's a setback for sure. I wouldn't say it's like a huge setback, but it's because enough people know who MrGirl is that I still have an audience, but finding them and helping them find me is just a lot of like kind of pain in the ass work. So now I'm just trying to
for a lot of people. Sorry, I was gonna say, for a lot of people, like if they have to like specifically search you out and like look for your channel, most people won't do that just because it's just like, oh, that's too much work.
unless you
So,
have a
yeah,
very
I
special
get that
channel,
inconvenience. Yeah,
which is what the MrGirl channel is. So I think it'll be okay, but it's definitely going to slow me down a little bit and take a little bit longer to reconnect with everybody. But I'm trying to centralize my audience on my Patreon now,
Yeah.
so that I did start another YouTube channel, but I do not want that to be like the central hub for my content because it can be taken away so easily, and it is such a royal pain in the ass to work around that.
So you're back out there, but you still, but like, when you get banned, you're like, it's forbidden for you to make a new one in your name.
True.
You can like work for somebody. That's what Keemstar did. That's what Leafy did.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do something like that?
No, I just started another channel under my own name.
All right.
Max
Like you're-
Carson or
MrGirl. It's just called MrGirl Returns.
okay.
I don't know if you understood. Basically, I don't know if you saw, but like back when Keemstar was doing all this shit, and they were trying to terminate him off YouTube. What Keemstar did on his channel, since it's called Drama Alert,
Yeah.
they put a disclaimer saying that Keemstar himself works for Drama Alert, and not that Drama Alert is actually owned by Keemstar.
It's a shell company.
So
Yeah.
it's basically it's a front. It's a front. It's a front.
Yeah, it's a
word?
front.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a front.
Yeah.
Leafy
You can
started his
definitely
new
call it a
channel
front.
called Weefy.
Everybody
Yeah.
knew that Keemstar actually owned the channel anyways, and eventually
Yeah.
he slipped and
Loophole.
he showed that he
That's
did
what I was thinking
whatever.
of.
Yeah, loophole.
Yeah, loophole.
But nobody can do anything.
Well, I'm sure YouTube could just. I think YouTube could just delete those channels if they wanted to. They probably are choosing not to because of the ad revenue. I think it's just a calculated decision, and they're like, basically, if you keep doing the shit you did the first time you got banned, or you're a small channel, they might just delete me for the fuck of it. Because the thing is, like, I have enough people that hate the channel to match somebody with like 100 or 200,000 subs, but I only had 4.
Yeah, and
So-
like not enough to balance it out that like the channel.
Exactly. Like most of the money.
Shit, I
YouTube,
wonder why.
I wonder why too. I ask myself that all the time. I think that the money they're making off me is from other people making videos about me. So, those are the
I don't
ones
know,
with
man.
the
That seems
with
a
the
bit
millions of views.
convoluted to be.
Yeah.
That seems a bit convoluted to me. It seems like they would just as soon terminate you again, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they will.
All right, yeah.
I agree.
Would you view this as censorship?
Yeah. I mean, not legally, obviously, but I think that these social media companies are so big and so ubiquitous that at this point they wield the power of governments. So they're not technically the government, but they're more powerful than many countries. And almost all of our communication, interpersonal communication, like right now, we're communicating on Discord, right? So Discord has the right to end this conversation if they think they don't like what we're saying. Like that's fucking weird to me. So I think that given that, especially in the pandemic, social media is such a fundamental way for humans to communicate. At this point, I would call it censorship, and I do think the First Amendment should apply.
Okay, so hold on. Are you saying that you think that not that this was targeted, but like, do you think that because they're censoring you, that it was more targeted? I guess in a way, I'm saying it.
Yeah, I think that people are filing false reports about my content because they don't like the weird shit I'm saying, and it makes them uncomfortable. and then the algorithm catches it and auto deletes, and then a person looks at it and it's like, this guy's not worth the trouble. Yeah.
But do you ever think, I asked you last time, but like now that the tables have turned, do you think maybe there's
have they?
In a way that, that now you don't have your channel?
And we gained a bunch of subs. That's what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, because I didn't ask the question yet, but basically what I'm saying is, since I asked you that last time, but like, would be like, there's got to be an easier way for you to get your message out there than just bringing up those controversial topics, all by yourself.
An easier way, like what?
I don't know, man, but like, there's an easier way to.
What we figured out like last time we had him on was that he wants to talk about the controversial topics. That's his whole shtick, It's not that he's not trying to shy away from them.
It's more than a shtick.
No, I'm not.
It's my core being.
This is life, man.
Yeah,
what do you do for a living, if you don't mind?
I don't mind you asking, but I do mind revealing, because then they're gonna
come to your job. No, I'm not asking.
Really
I'm not asking your employer. I'm like, are you in IT? Are you like in psychology?
Look, any information I give about this will be used against me, and you know that. So no. The only thing that would satisfy
Edward Snowden, man. I don't think anybody's listening to our podcast is gonna try to come for you, but okay.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, man. So let's move on to the 2 videos that really.
Oh, I'm not commenting on my own importance by saying that people will try to cost me my job. I'm commenting on the patheticness of people who are obsessively trying to track down every bit of information about me, calling my family members, trying to find my address. Like, no, people are fucking crazy. I'm not gonna reveal anything about myself that I haven't already.
It's okay. I'm not pressuring you.
Like, if you guys want an example, there was that whole situation with a YouTuber by the name of Zaptai, who was basically shafted off the internet because of some controversy he got himself into with Alex and other YouTubers around the commentary community. Fuck Alex for a quick second. Anyway, recently an interview was done by Nicholas Diorio. He talked with Zaptai for a good while, and Zaptai basically revealed that people were literally calling him at work, like his literal job, asking for him, and he actually almost had a panic attack because he caught one of the calls, and he was able to successfully trick them into thinking that it wasn't him, and that he didn't know who Zaptai was or that he worked there. But basically that does happen. People do try to find where you live, and they try to call you where you work.
Yeah, people are fucking crazy. And I inspire a certain amount, type of passionate hatred that I think is pretty rare, where people literally think that I have children locked in my basement, or they want to think that, I don't know. But people literally want to kill me. So I gotta be careful.
I wouldn't trust it either.
I gotta be honest, I'm freaked out. I'm gonna go through my old tweets and make sure there's no references to where I work. Because I mean, yeah.
Hey, dude,
just only way to making sure no N-word slipped anywhere.
Nah, dude, just don't fucking worry about that. All you gotta worry about is not doing anything stupid. Don't get anybody too mad at you.
Yeah.
I do things that are stupid.
Then you're all good. Don't worry.
Is the brain.
No, I said I do.
Well, then fucking worry right now. Worry.
I am.
Jacob starts having a panic attack live on air.
I am. I'm a little nauseous from anxiety now.
Man,
are we gonna dive into a couple of the
that was okay. So trigger warning was in the beginning and some now. Basically, we're gonna talk about a lot about rape and domestic abuse. So if you're uncomfortable, skip to the timestamp that is now.
Okay, guys, so anybody listening on audio that wants to skip forward, you can just skip to 38 minutes, 19 seconds.
Okay. So you made 2 videos that probably were not reasons for your termination, but we wanted to talk about because, man, they're just too out of pocket First of all, is your consent video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we didn't get to touch upon that too much last time we had you on, but this time we got you all to ourselves.
Yeah, we watched it last night. We rewatched it. Well, 3 of us.
Nice.
And yeah, you guys want to take a lead of it, Austin, Jacob?
Nah, man. Yeah, I think you got this pretty well in hand. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, the
Let's see
video
this.
talks about how.
Ringside spectators.
All right. Well, the video basically.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a fight.
It's not going to be a fight.
You want to contextualize quickly what you said in the video for the viewers from your side, and then I can do from my side if you want.
Sure. The point of the video is that consent is complicated and that a black and white view of consent is insufficient for understanding sexual interactions between people. Basically,
it's never. Yeah, what I got from it was that you're saying it's never 100% yes or never 100% no.
Exactly, because we all have mixed feelings and unconscious desires to not do something. That to say that any sexual, or any non-sexual interaction is that you are 100% sure you want to do whatever you're doing is not true. So, it's easier to think about if you're talking about like going to work,
And
yeah,
so
like right now, I'm currently rocking back and forth on my stool. But in the back of my mind, there's a little fear that I might accidentally squish my toe. So I'm not like 100% committed to rocking my stool. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, but the thing about actions is, especially sex, is that you're either doing it or you're not. So you have to say,
my stool, so that is true. Yeah.
Right. So legally, to have consent between people, you have to have some sort of black and white definition if you're going to prosecute
the
people
law's all about black and white.
Right. So the law is black and white, and that's how it works now. I don't know if that's how it should work, but that's how it works now. And
it's easier that way. Like it's easier to write laws that are black and white,
It is. So you have to say yes or no, even though neither one will actually accurately describe what's going on inside you. And then eventually you do have to either have sex or not. You could like sort of have sex, but most sex, I think, either happens or doesn't. And whichever one you choose will be wrong.
Would you consider foreplay sex?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically,
he said he hates foreplay in the video. Like, do you still hate that? No, that's my question. That's my personal question.
Personal preference.
This is my personal question.
That's right.
Well, it's not personal. You brought it in the video.
Well, now it's not brown. It's public preference. But basically,
Do you still hate it?
do I hate foreplay?
Yeah.
I think that discussions of my personal sexual predilections, I'm okay with having them, but mixing them in with this theoretical discussion that we're about to have seems like a bad strategy for me.
But why always take the outside
that.
look? Okay, I understand. But like I feel like case studies are also important. But yeah, like while your argument is valid that consent is not black and white, I agree with that. However, you always bring up that like the Me Too movement is so bad because they need to have like, and I quote you said, 2 nerds over-explanatory who say, "Can I lick your left nipple now?" And can I proceed down to your coochie? I have a problem with that.
But continue.
Yeah, I know you. Okay, sorry. Cool.
Well, you said you're quoting me. You're paraphrasing. Let's be clear.
Man.
Let's get clear.
All right, man. All right. Sure.
Well, seriously, you impart a certain characterization of me when you use the word coochie. I like vagina, sometimes pussy. I'm not going to say coochie. Continue.
All right. Semantics, man.
Well, just don't say you're quoting me if you're not.
I said the quote finished. I was going to say that the quote finished a bit.
Well, I'm
earlier
just letting the viewers
all right,
know.
Thank you for clarification.
Remember when we said earlier that this wasn't going to turn into a fight?
This is not a fight.
It's not. I just got to say when I didn't say something. That's all.
Okay. So your quote I'm paraphrasing, like it was 2 over-explanatory nerds, and you said that they would describe consent to every single thing that is about to happen. But
yes.
I don't understand what's so bad about communication and consenting before, like 2 mature adults people are. You would just say, "Hey, I'm comfortable with this, this, and that, but I'm not comfortable with this perfect thing." And like,
you don't understand
what's the issue with that?
With doing that beforehand?
Yeah,
that you might change your mind.
That's good.
Well, if you do it beforehand, then you change your mind, then the other person won't know you changed your mind.
What do you wait? I'm sorry. Then I didn't
You,
understand what you mean by changing your mind.
if you say you're comfortable with getting fucked in the ass,
Okay.
and then later you're not, and the person fucks you in the ass
Then
anyway.
you just say, hey, I'm not comfortable anymore.
Okay, so you see the reason why they would advocate for communication during sex, not just before.
Yeah. What's the issue? I don't understand. You're saying it like it's a bad thing to communicate during sexual acts.
Well, yeah,
'Cause
you're having me
you-
argue both for and against myself at the same time because you're saying something kind of in between. I was making fun of people who are talking about constant communication. May I place my hand on your knee now? May I touch your butt now?
Okay, well, that was in the introduction. You're really going into semantics of what I'm saying, like avoiding the point, man. Come on.
Well, I'm
The
trying
point
to,
is
I think somewhere along
communication.
the line, someone had some dyslexia.
What?
Start over.
yeah.
What did you say?
You said that I made fun of people for talking about consent during sex, for continuously communicating during sex.
Yeah.
You then
What's the
asked
issue
me.
with that?
You then asked me, what's the issue with people talking about what they're comfortable with before sex?
No,
But those are different. So which one do you want me to respond to?
both. I'm talking about
You want me to
both. Like
respond
it's
to
a
both
fluid
at the same
discussion.
time?
You fluid discussion. You're treating it as like it's a meditated debate.
It is.
So
Okay.
now you want to have a conversation about how I'm responding to your questions?
Oh my God, man.
I don't think you
Okay,
do.
okay.
I think you got to pick one of these questions for me to answer.
All right, let's talk about communication before sex. You made your point that you don't want to the issue is when you finally when you get in bed, you can change your consent, you can withdraw your consent, right?
I don't think
That's what you said. I'm not. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting.
You won't. Well, what I believe is that
Okay.
the more you discuss what you're comfortable with out loud, the less sexy the interaction is going to be.
But why can't you I'll talk from my personal experience. I discuss it separately. Like I'm not sitting naked with my partner and telling him like, hey, listen, I'm comfortable with this and this, and I'm sorry I see you're growing soft, but let's come back to it. Let's go have sex now. No, you discuss it beforehand, like I say, the drive to their place. Like you're saying that they discuss it before bed. I agree, it does reduce the libido, but discussing it overall before they act, what's the issue with that?
How about hold on. Okay, how about this? Okay, how about we put some context in it? Because it feels like I don't really get like what we're arguing here. So
We're
let's
arguing
say,
if like
so
saying
are you
that
talking about a partner that you've been with for a while, or are you talking with a completely new
Either one, but
person?
I'm not arguing with you. You do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I think.
okay.
So are you?
So
do you want to
is this-
know what
so-
I think, or
I'm
are you
just trying to
change
understand your
what
point. I'm contextualizing your point, and I want to
Hold
hear
on.
your opinion on that.
Hold on, you guys. I'm hearing this is not an argument. This is not a debate. Like this is a conversation, right?
Yeah.
About the video in question, right?
Yeah, and in the video it was brought up about the consent in the beginning of the act, and now I'm trying to understand Max's standpoint in different scenarios.
So my
let him
standpoint
speak.
is that the more you explicitly discuss what sexual acts you'll be performing,
Okay.
the less sexy the situation is. This is why you'll almost never see a scene in a movie or a romantic TV show or whatever.
But we're talking about real life here, not movies, though.
Do you want to hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you want me to hear what you're saying? Because I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason
Okay, go ahead. Continue. I thought you were done. My bad.
I'm never done. The reason that you don't see scenes of people asking, "Oh, hey, when we get to your house, can I give you a blowjob?" in a movie is that it's really not very sexy. So the more explicitly you discuss what you're going to do, the less sexy it is. If you continue that into the sex act itself, which is what is recommended by consent experts now, that you continuously, enthusiastically consent. That is the standard for consent in a lot of college campuses, and I think in some states, that you have to keep, especially if you don't know the person, keep asking, keep talking and making sure that they are on board with what they're doing.
Wait
Now,
a minute. Hold on. Isn't there literally like that? I feel like what you're describing is like sexy talk, is dirty talking.
Yeah, it's nonverbal. There's also nonverbal consent.
I don't think nonverbal consent flies in court. But if we're talking about just interpersonal interactions,
or also you could say don't stop or something like that. You know.
Hold on. Then hold on. What the fuck is nonverbal consent?
It's basically like moaning and like encouraging with your body language to
Okay,
continue
then
like eating pussy or whatever.
I kind of have to agree with Max here because that like
no,
it
I
kind of
understand.
doesn't fly.
I understand in court, but like are we talking court now?
No, I said
you're taking
what I
the
said
Me
earlier
Too-
was
the
dirty
Me-
talking.
Do you think that the Me Too movement is going to say that dirty talking or moaning equals consent? Like, no, you're arguing against your own point in this non-argument.
No, don't tell me what I'm doing, man. Come on.
I just
provide
did.
your point.
Okay. So my point is that the more you explicitly discuss it out loud, which does not include body language or moaning, the less sexy the situation becomes.
I don't agree with you because you're saying that you need to continue that in bed, right?
No, I didn't say you need to do anything. What I said is
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So one should continue doing that in bed, according to Me Too movement. Is that what you just said that, right?
yes, they
Continue
advocate
to
for
verbally.
continuous, enthusiastic consent and
Who are
asking
Who are they?
explicitly. Sex educators, sex specialists, people who
Okay.
go onto college campuses
So
to
would you
tell boys not to rape girls.
Okay. So would you consider saying like don't stop, oh keep going as a like because I talked with some people who are like pro consent. I guess like it's such a weird thing to be, it's a reasonable thing to be pro. But basically, what they said, you just got to be responsive in bed, and you got to be, responsive in terms of saying don't stop, continue, or also a good way to do it is to set your boundaries before that, aka discuss what are you cool with it and what you're not.
Right, but there's a trade-off. I mean, first of
It's
all,
less
the point
sexy?
that is part of it, but the point of the video is that that it's not possible to do this. That I understand what you're trying to approximate, but the point of the video is that it is not actually possible to fully consent to sex.
Okay. Yeah, I understand the point of your point being that, there's always a thought in the back of your mind that, maybe I don't want to do it. I'm not arguing with that.
Or sometimes a thought either comes out of your mind. I mean, what if you're on a date with somebody and they say, no, I'm not comfortable. I really just want to try out that tea that you said you had.
All right. Then we tried the tea and we
you go upstairs. Just listen to me. They
Okay.
say that and you say, okay, I guess I'm not getting laid. They go upstairs and they start unzipping your pants.
Wait.
Now, are they uncomfortable?
Wait,
They said no. But why? They said no, but why are they doing this?
And then you just ask, "Are you cool with what we're about to do?" And that's
Well, they
it.
don't answer.
Then you pause and you wait for an answer.
You're going to stop them?
Yeah.
If you don't stop them, do you think you raped them?
I think it's more gray and white than that. And yeah, you put me in a corner here. Cool. With your imaginary scenarios, but
I'm not trying to.
No. Let me speak now. Let me speak now, King. Let me speak now.
Okay.
So
he graduated to king. He graduated. Everybody clap it up. He graduated.
Let's go. Anyway, go back to the debate.
No, basically, but why would I just told you I wouldn't stop them. Why?
I know you wouldn't.
So you just said you wouldn't stop? Now the question becomes...
No, sorry. If I wouldn't stop them, he said, would it be considered rape?
Yeah.
And I would say
on.
that, I mean, if they initiate if they initiate an act, that would be consent because they are the ones initiating. It would be consent from their part. Then how how do I say this? And then it only leaves up me. And if I don't consent, I tell them.
What if you had just showed them your new gun?
What?
My new gun.
Yeah, what if you got a new gun and you're like, hey, check out this new gun. You showed it to them.
What's up with all the very unique and specific scenarios? Are we
Just
going to
let
do
him go.
case
Just
study?
let him go. Just let him go.
Okay.
Okay, so you show them your new gun and you're like, check this out. This is how it works. To you, it's totally normal thing. You have a gun, your friends have guns, you're part of gun culture. Most normal thing in the world. To this guy, he's never seen a gun before. He thinks you're threatening him. He doesn't understand what's happening. He feels freaked out. Suddenly he thinks that you're saying that he has to blow you.
What?
You put the gun away. You think everything's fine. He starts blowing you, and you're like, "Oh, I guess he changed his mind."
What the point you're making here?
What the fuck is happening? What is this? That's not an argument. What the fuck is that?
What the point you're trying to make here is that every situation is so unique that by any miracle chance you can always find a fault in there.
No, that the Me Too people, the sex educators that you're defending would laugh in your face if you said that you think that initiating sex means that you consent. It definitely doesn't. There's all kinds of reasons that people initiate sex and then later say that they were abused or coerced or taken advantage of, and rightly so.
Okay, so basically you're saying about there's outside factors that influence.
I'm saying it's just more complicated.
You can be forced. You can be forced into initiating sex, right?
The name of the motherfucking video is consent. Is complicated. So, and your argument is that it's simple.
I'm not saying that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, so then what's your counter argument to consent is complicated?
I'm not counter arguing that consent is complicated. I'm arguing a specific point in your video you made. You made a point that communication ruins the act, and I said communication. And what I'm trying to say is communication is healthy, and I think people can actually start trading off a part of their libido into just making sure their
I'm not
partner
saying
is comfortable.
Communication ruins the act. I'm saying that the amount of communication necessary to convey all of the mixed feelings that are happening in your head in real time that you are not able to process into good decisions in real time is enormous, which is why these people advocate for continuous communication, because even if you're constantly talking about what you're thinking, you're still thinking and feeling faster than you're talking. You can never actually catch up and accurately describe what you're going through in a sexual situation. And it's only till afterward, upon reflection, that you might be able to approach some idea of whether or not you really wanted to do what you did or how you feel about it. You don't know how you feel about sex till like a day later.
Okay.
So
those are fair points.
Right. So what I'm saying in the video is not communication ruins sex. It's that the attempt to fully consent, the attempt to make it black and white and clear the air and make it as clean and pure and above water as possible is a bit misguided, because it leaves out the fact that you do have mixed feelings. And my other problem with it is that even if you say, oh, I crossed all the T's and I dotted my I's and this person 100% consented, there could be some factor like what I said in the gun example where they think they're being coerced and you had no idea, not through any fault of your own. And so my whole point is just that it's very messy. And I think approaching it with the understanding that it's messy, that you may not actually be able to tell someone later, no, you consented. You said it was okay. That's not really an empathetic or psychologically intelligent response if someone says that they feel that you raped them or that they feel they were taken advantage of, because to some degree, both people are always going to have bad feelings about it. And I think that leaving the space open to discuss those and to be aware of those is better. And I think you lose that when you try to make it black and white.
Okay. Nobody's arguing with you that it's a bad thing to make it very black and white. I was just arguing a certain point, which is I agree the content should be talked about and it should be more. I don't agree particularly with all the points you make in the video and you're making now, but I agree that and you also keep bringing up Me Too movement as they're sort of like bad people, by the way. why do you think? Like, are they damaging the whole thing? Do you think? Like the whole consent.
I think that they are oversimplifying things a bit. I think that I think there's a tendency to want it to be black and white. And I think that the Me Too movement exists largely on Twitter, where you've got 280 characters or whatever to express your thought. And I don't think that this is a topic that can be really fully encapsulated in tweets. So that my problem with the Me Too movement is that I think rape is a problem that we all share responsibility for. And the Me Too movement thinks that rape is a problem that rapists share responsibility for. That there's good guys and bad guys. I just don't think it works that way.
But Me Too movement, remember that also Me Too movement is also very pro people who got whose cases are much more simpler than you described. There's no gun involved, like that I showcased to my partner previously. And you see always what you do here previously with the island situation on the island situation and with the gun movement and like with this particular case that we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes is that there's very specific scenario with the certain factors influencing other factors. But also don't forget that Me Too movement is also to protect and to make sure of like educate people about a very direct problems of consent.
I don't.
Sorry.
I doubt those cases are as simple as we think they are.
That's the whole point behind his video that he's trying to say. He's trying to say even in those very simple.
Hold on.
Hang on. You can make it sound simple, and they have. And I think that's doing people a disservice.
So putting Molly in somebody's drink, how does it get more complicated than that? Because remember, Me Too movement advocates also for that, of like education about not taking advantage of drunk people, not taking advantage of intoxicated people, in order to get sexual favors from them. Because you're portraying them as very,
how can you have sex
very
with a drunk
nuanced
person without taking advantage of them.
Yeah, okay. See, there it is. I was literally about to bring that up. Drunk sex is the most complicated thing like I've ever seen in the media. There are so many different takes, because who is consenting when they're drunk? Like, what if they're both drunk?
Yeah.
Who raped who? And there's so many fucking factors in it that it just it's not simple at all. Well, that's where I agree that that's not simple at all.
Well, again, that's
what
kind of the point of
MrGirl
the video
is saying is that there's a part of both of them that wants it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I correct in saying that? I don't want to be accused of putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, you're correct. I think in almost all cases, there's a part of you that wants to have sex and a part of you that doesn't.
Okay. Let's move on from that. We have 15 minutes. We want to talk about the video that you posted when... Was it recent? It was the most recent one, right? Now, another trigger warning is domestic abuse. We want to talk about that. We're going to talk about abuse. So you can skip to the timestamp.
I have not seen this video at all, so...
skip to the timestamp here.
Okay, anybody that's listening on audio that wants to skip forward, you can skip to 1 hour, 25 minutes.
Basically, you brought up that one is a bit more black and white. You say that the reason I'm paraphrasing now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason you yourself beat women was A, because your dad was mean to you at the dinner table, or B, because there's also two. Let's talk about those are 2 points I want to discuss. Is B, another point is that there are 2 parties involved, and I want to know about that. So let's start with the first one, if you don't mind.
Okay. What's your question? Or
no, just elaborate on that.
Just
elaborate on that. How is it your dad's fault that you beat your girlfriend?
I don't think I said it's my dad's fault that I beat my girlfriend.
Okay. Let me just make sure you did say that. You said that what you said is that you talk to your dad that because you portray me so bad in front of my girlfriend, we have to physically fight in after that. Something like that. You said no.
I don't think I said we have to.
Okay, what did you? Okay, you fight. Sorry, you didn't have to. You fight. That's what you said. Okay, if I'm wrong, please do sure correct me.
I'm happy to. I think I believe what I was saying is that in understanding domestic violence, you have to understand the feelings of the people who are committing the violence, and understand why they're snapping and lashing out. So in exploring and recognizing it as a problem and trying to figure it out for myself, one thing I honed in on was I'm more violent, or we're both more violent when we're around my family, and why. And
Well,
what I came up with
Hold
is
up. Let me
that
stop you really quick, okay, if you don't mind. You're saying that you're not saying that like you were in the right for doing that. You're saying you were wrong for doing that. You were just focusing on what the cause of it was, right?
I'm not even really commenting on whether it's right or wrong. I mean, I'm not going to make a video called "Hitting Your Girlfriend is Wrong." You can watch that anywhere else. That's not why people watch my channel.
That's certainly true. All right, continue, please.
The video is called "How I Learned to Stop Hitting Women." So if you have somebody who's hitting you, or you're hitting people, or you're just curious about a possible path out of a domestic violence cycle, that's what I'm trying to provide.
I'm sure MrGirl video is the solution to that. All right.
All right,
It
please
taught me pretty
continue.
well. So
It's not the solution, but it's a not even
First step as such. Of such.
Yeah, it's a rough sketch of a map that could get you out of a abusive or addictive situation. I think it applies to pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be hitting your girlfriend that you're doing that's wrong, but anything you're doing that you think is bad for you or somebody else that you want to stop doing. I think that it's easy to become subsumed in guilt and the passion of the moment, and make in a way bonding over it without realizing that's what you're doing. And what's hard to do is to look at the other parts of your life that you thought were fine and see how they may be contributing to your feelings or your instability.
But isn't it your personal responsibility to just prevent it from you yourself as an abuser, or like as a person who enacts the abuse? Isn't it your personal responsibility to prevent that?
Yeah, that's the point of the video, is that if you want to prevent yourself from hitting women, you have to look at what. See, you're
Tell me what I'm doing.
I'll tell you. I'll fucking tell you what you're doing. You have this unempathetic sense of personal responsibility that doesn't involve looking at why you do the things you do and taking care of yourself. And I think that I think that trying to white knuckle, just force yourself to stop doing something that you're doing, or something bad for you that you're doing, leads to snapping more later. Like very few people are proud that they hit their girlfriends. Very few people think that that is the correct and justifiable thing to do. Even if it's just out of self-preservation, you know that if you hit your girlfriend in public, like, you probably are going to jail. So I would say most people
that. Okay.
I'm not
Nobody is arguing that is like that you're not correct here. Okay.
So to respond to that by saying that isn't it your personal responsibility implies that I am trying to shirk responsibility.
But that's
that,
what
like,
you do in the
you're proud of
video.
it.
I'm not saying he's proud of it. No.
And
but
so I think
in
you're
the video,
conflating-
that's what
you're
it sounds.
conflating understanding your motivations for doing something with blaming
No, man,
your
speak
actions.
for yourself. You, man, hold on. In the video, you say that because of there are multiple factors that I evaluated my personal.
I didn't say
like-
because. We just went through this.
Oh my
You
God!
said-
Hold on, motherfucker. Listen, you said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, but the main points in the video were brought up, and you can get into the semantics as you want. But basically, what you said is that there are multiple factors that influence how and why I did what I did, aka abuse my girlfriend. And you say those factors are, I don't remember exactly all the bullet points,
Well, the bullet points
but-
don't matter. The distinction we're making
Oh
is
my God!
I'm saying
Can you let me finish? Oh my God! I don't
Let
exactly
the punk
remember
finish.
all the points, but there was your family, because in your family's household, that's when you both got physical, and also because what's the second thing? Oh, it was because two people. She also initiated it, and it was her fault. You implied it. Of course, you wouldn't say it here, and you wouldn't say it there, but
no,
you
I wasn't-
implied that. Hold on,
well,
hold on.
see, you
and
know, I want
Let
to
the
argue
punk
about
finish,
what I
let the
secretly
punk
implied.
finish, Max.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to let you finish because I get what you're saying. My disagreement has already occurred. Like the details don't matter. The distinction between what I'm saying and what you're saying is I'm saying you can talk about your reasons for doing something without saying it is that something's fault you did it. And you're saying that if somebody talks about their reasons for hitting their girlfriend, they're also saying it's not my fault I hit my girlfriend. Those are completely
No.
different topics.
Okay, but you said, and you talked about all that, and then I understand that you need to evaluate your personal background in order to understand. I'm not saying that we shouldn't evaluate the abuser by any means, but also what you said is that because you, of course, you're gonna deny it here, and you wouldn't publicly say it, but you imply it with a certain sentences. I wouldn't quote it now because I don't
Dude,
have it.
I zoomed
but-
in on my own face and said that 11-year-olds are hot. If you think that I would be afraid to say that it's my father's fault I hit my girlfriend,
No,
I would not be afraid. I would be so.
It's
I
more
would be
about
so,
the
I
two-party
would be
one. Is
thrilled
that-
to say that.
Okay,
But-
so when you were talking about the two parties thing, you said, I don't remember exactly the quote, but it's basically the whole thing as there are always two that are guilty in provoking only one person who abuses. There was something like that you said that took me off guard, and basically you came
It takes
so
two
close
to
to
tango.
victim. That you came so close to victim blaming, you almost touched it, but you couldn't do it.
Why couldn't I do it?
I don't know. You don't have the guts to admit it.
Oh, please.
So your theory, let me get this straight. Your theory is that Mr. Cuties, this pedophile scourge of YouTube who's had his channel deleted, is afraid to admit that he thinks that it's your fault if you're in an abusive relationship? The person who just said that it's also, if you get raped on some level, you wanted it. I really don't think there's much I'm afraid to say.
Okay,
Especially
big boy.
if
It's okay, big boy. It's okay. Nobody's calling you a pussy. It's okay.
I just don't think that me being a pussy can be a central part of your argument here. Now, I will say that if you are in an abusive relationship, even if you are not the person who is throwing punches, of course you're contributing to it on some level. Yeah. Now to say it's your fault, no, I don't have a very moralistic view on the world in general, which I think is part of why we're clashing here, because you seem very interested in saying who's right and who's wrong. And the whole channel is about, or was about, that there is not a person who's right or a person who's wrong. So
a nihilist. Would you describe yourself as a nihilist?
no, there's nothing nihilistic about saying that one person is not going to heaven and the other person's not going
I'm
to
not
hell.
saying that people shouldn't be right or wrong, and there's always got to be somebody who's right and wrong. But I understand
In a
there's
domestic
certain-
violence
but what I'm-
situation,
I
I
am
think
saying
that
that
you want there to
I am
be
saying
a right and wrong.
what I'm saying is that there needs to be a level of personal accountability. That your video, I understand now that it's not your intention, but your video, the way you say it, and the way you wrote it, and the way you recorded it, and the way you delivered it, a lot of it seems like shifting responsibility from personal to the outside factors. It is what's true with your video about the consent, about the domestic violence as well, and with the cuties as well. So I stand by the point that you shift indirectly in your videos the responsibility to the outside factor. It was the girl's fault.
The idea that,
Shut the fuck up. It was the girl's
idea
fault
that
because they
somebody has
aroused
to
you.
be held
It was
responsible.
the ladies who provoked you to hit her, and
The
it was your
idea that
daddy who
somebody
was mean
has
to
to-
you, and you decided to fight with your girlfriend. Because that's all I'm hearing, King.
the idea
And
that
even
somebody
Avatar the
has
King.
to be
All right, let him
the
respond,
idea that
Jason.
somebody has to
Sorry.
the idea that somebody has to be held responsible every time you get a boner is insane and puritanical. So I don't
I'm
agree.
not saying that. Holy fuck, man.
Well, what do you think I'm shifting responsibility for in the cuties video?
I just said, were you not listening?
I was listening.
You're shifting. You're shifting
for what?
the response.
For what?
Response for everything.
In the cuties video, specifically
in the cuties video, you shift the
What am I
responsibility that
shifting?
you got. Okay, in the cuties video, let's talk about the
Yes.
previous two. You shift your
no,
responsibility.
You mentioned the cuties video. I'm asking you what you think.
Yeah, you said, "Oh, it's the director's fault that they put sexy children." And I agree.
Responsibility for what? Responsibility for what?
For saying, "Oh, I would love to fuck those kids." It's the director's fault that I want to fuck kids.
I didn't say I would love to fuck those kids, but
Okay,
if
I'm
you're,
sorry.
But
I'm
so
sorry
this is why
for
this is
misinterpreting your pedophile apologizing video.
okay.
Okay, I need to talk about something really quick.
Go ahead.
Is it a Spotify plug?
Ha. Maybe later. But anyways, in your beating women video,
Well, hang on. I just want to respond.
Okay.
It just seems like you are not interested in or up for discussing these gray areas that lie.
I'm not
beyond-
saying that there are no gray areas, and I can discuss the gray areas.
I have
but-
not seen evidence in this conversation that you can tolerate talking about that.
I don't know.
It seems
I
like
would
you-
have to
I
disagree
know
with
what
that.
you. I see what you're trying. I see what you're trying to do, but I've been pretty open about my views on all the topics that are here, and you're saying that my
But you-
radical views are too.
No.
They're not gray enough.
Your views are super normal, and I think that's the problem.
Radical to you, my bad. Okay, yeah, I'm
No,
too
I don't
normal
think they're-
about
I
consent
don't think
and
they're radical at
pedophiles.
all.
He's a normie.
I look. I don't think they're radical at all. I just think that what is driving most of what you're saying is discomfort, and not.
Okay,
It's not really. I think that what is provocative about my content is that I can be hyperlogical and
of course.
explore things that make people really, really uncomfortable without needing to say, and by the way, guys, it's really bad to hit your girlfriend. By the way, guys, let me just pause what I'm saying here. Fucking kids is like the worst thing ever. It's super bad for them and you shouldn't do it. Even though I basically did say that in the cuties video, obviously I didn't say it the way, a normal person would say it. And so the thing you're trying to get me to do or say in this conversation, or that you're
I'm
advising
not
me
trying
to
to
do.
say anything, man. I'm just
Well,
letting you speak.
let me just finish.
Let him go,
At the beginning
Jason,
of
let him go.
let me go off the rails here. At the beginning of the podcast, you said, "Isn't there a less provocative way to make your content?" Yes, exactly. There is. What you are saying is that less provocative way. It is to coat everything you're saying with disclaimers about how hitting women is bad, raping kids is bad, and raping women is bad. And
Yeah.
Never
I
said
understand.
that.
I understand.
It was just an interview question, man.
I understand why you want to do that. I get it. I do. Because if you don't do that, you see what happens. You get your channel deleted, and
Right.
everybody thinks you're a pedophile, rapist, woman beater. And
Damn, boo-hoo.
but I'm okay with people thinking those things about me. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that because otherwise you just come off as preachy.
Boom, red pill.
No one wants to see a video. How
Just kidding.
no one wants to see a video called "You Should Stop Hitting Your Girlfriend." They want to see how I learned to stop hitting my girlfriend.
Fair.
Because if you're not willing to put yourself on the slab of whatever you're criticizing, I guess the misconception that you have about my content is that it's designed to make me look good. You
I never
think
said that. I don't even think.
Nah,
You
he didn't
keep
say
telling
that.
me what I'm thinking. I don't think
Yes, let me
you
finish.
just. I understand
Let-
what your content is about.
I understand
and what
it.
you're
I
trying to
understand if
achieve.
it's too upsetting. Let me finish.
Oh my god, man! You're so predictable.
Let him
Okay.
go. Let him go.
Anyway, the misconception you have about my content, and that a lot of people do, is that I'm saying, oh, when I watched Cuties, I was aroused by these 11-year-olds, and that makes me a cool dude. Like, the whole point of it is to cast myself in a harsh, ugly, revealing light, to talk about the most private, secret, like, how do you think I feel telling everybody I know that I used to hit my girlfriend? Like, I have a lot of friends, family who don't know that about me, but I told the entire world about it. Like, it's a difficult thing to
I'm
do,
gonna go
but
check out how many views does the video have, just out of curiosity.
the
You know,
goal
you
of
know.
doing it is to reveal something about myself and about people. especially something that people don't really talk about. So I don't agree that I'm trying to say it's not my fault that I hit my girlfriend, or I'm not a creepy weirdo who got turned on by cuties, or I'm a complicated and potentially rapey person to get sexually involved with, or whatever it is you think about me. The whole point of the channel is to not defend myself, and I
And
don't
by
see a lot of
association, point
and
out
by
what you
association,
feel in other humans
yes, to
exists
point
as
out
well,
to
right?
point out the ugliest things about people and the most complicated things about people by pointing them out myself. So I understand that if you are assuming my content is meant to make me look good, which is not what 90% of YouTube is, or maybe 99%,
Yeah.
then sure, I can see why you think I'm trying to shirk
I
responsibility.
don't think you're trying to like crave like making you look cool or edgy. No. I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to be the provocative, the person who dared to speak about things that no one ever did, and that is why MrGirl is so revolutionary. That's your goal, right?
It's not that I'm speaking
That's
about
literally
things
what
that
you just said. But okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I called myself a revolutionary or said
Okay,
that I speak about
motherfucker.
things.
You love getting into
Not this
semantics,
again.
don't you?
Come on, man.
What?
All right.
No, you just
Now I got
you
a
just
question. I got
you have a
question.
way of paraphrasing
Okay.
that is mocking and inaccurate.
That's
So
true.
I'm going to call you out on it every time you do it.
Okay. It's
Okay,
gonna
can
be
I
a very
ask a question
entertaining
now,
episode.
please?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You had the floor all day.
I am so glad I had the floor. Okay, so in your beating women, there's a video. There's something that I wanted you to flesh out.
Okay.
The part where you said you were beating someone and like 20 minutes later she was turned on. Please elaborate. Would you claim like she was a what
want
is
the
it,
details?
sadist? Yes, I know, but go on. Please elaborate. Please
Elaborate
bring in
about-
those details. Please bring in those details.
You want me to elaborate about how that dynamic works, where you hit someone and then they want to fuck you after?
Yes, please do. I really want to hear about this. And I think the people do too.
I think that there is a certain amount of passion and desperation that comes across in physical violence that can make somebody feel like you care about them. I think that there are patterns that happen, and I think certainly happen with me at times, where someone's deliberately trying to provoke you to violence so that they can feel like you care about them. I used to have a tendency to give the cold shoulder. I probably still do. I used to do it a lot more in relationships. And I think that from my experience, having people give the cold shoulder to me, I would rather be slapped across the face 50 times than have somebody stop speaking to me for 1
Yeah,
hour.
so you're saying like nobody hits you without feeling something towards you?
Yeah, unless you're like a total like psychopath.
Sociopath,
Yeah,
psych-
yeah, exactly. Like
One of those two.
if somebody's
One of
hitting
those
you,
paths.
it's because they want something from you, or they care about you, or they're mad at you that you did something they didn't like, or whatever. But there's a lot of emotion and passion in it.
I'm sorry, dude. I just while you were saying that, I thought of Darth Vader choking that rebel at the beginning of episode 4. And I mean,
Very sexy.
it's true. He wanted to know where those plans were. So funny
This
coincidence, I
episode
guess.
stinks.
Well, I think Darth Vader choking Padme is a more apt example,
Yes, you're right. But anyways, all right. One more thing.
and an example of the downside to domestic violence is that you accidentally kill your wife.
Okay, there's a theory that didn't quite go down like that, but that's not what we're going to talk about today.
No.
Let's discuss one more thing.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who comes up to you, having seen all your videos, having read all your blog posts and articles that you've ever written, comes up to you and says, I think you have a hero complex and that you are saving the world by exposing what bad things lie underneath the happy little physique that we put on, and that you think that it's just your responsibility because you're the only one that sees those things. What would you say to them?
I would say that you're probably right about the responsibility part. But you're probably wrong about the ego part. That I think that I'm the only one who sees those things. I think part of the whole point of a lot of my content is that you also see those things. Like I'm appealing to, like, you see, when we were arguing earlier, I'm always saying like you already know this. I'm appealing to your sense that I think is already there, that of what you're not talking about or what you don't want to admit. So it's not I think sometimes I'm insightful, but I think more often it's just that I want to connect with a shared thing that we're all thinking or feeling, but are uncomfortable to talk about, and that I have a willingness to be the lightning rod for that thing, and to get blamed for that thing to some degree. But the sense that I want to help people or feel like I should, yeah, that's true. So I'd probably say like, what do you want me to fucking do about it? I mean,
Yeah.
like just stop
Oh,
making
well.
stuff.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
I mean,
describing
also-
me so perfectly. That's my new channel bio, sort of.
I mean, I'm
Um,
also trying to drive people to my Patreon, and my channel was monetized. So
Money,
It's not like-
money.
yeah, I'm
Money,
trying to
money,
get paid for my work. I'm not trying to give this away totally for free.
Yeah. It's like Plato said about Plato said something like, Greece is a stoic horse and I'm the gadfly trying to sting it into life, you know? Have you ever heard that quote?
No,
I think Plato said that.
it's good.
It's a good quote.
I like
Listen,
that.
before we end this, I want to.
Oh, hold up.
You,
Sorry, not Plato,
Okay.
Socrates. Anyways, go on, Ari.
I'm gonna read you a comment that kind of actually connects with what Austin said. There's
Okay.
this comment I found that I'd really like you to respond to. Damn. Hold on. I'm pretty sure this guy has some delusional thinking. It's like he thinks that his acts can cause a change in the world. His weird, controversial, and unpopular takes make him seem like an attention whore. And the way he keeps deflecting actual criticism and not accepting it makes it seem like he has narcissistic personality disorder. His childhood trauma might have played a part in this. What do you say to that?
What a sad way to look at the world, that change is impossible. Change is the norm. Everything's always changing, and everything you do becomes part of that change.
So you
No.
do think that your videos can cause some kind of a change?
I think every video causes some kind of a change, inevitably. Everything you do causes some kind of a change.
Butterfly effect.
Do I think that? Yeah, I mean, do I think that in 200 years people are going to be talking about MrGirl, or 2000, the way that you're talking about Socrates and Plato? No, I don't think that. But I think that if you look at yourself and what you do, and you see the change that you affect, even in your own immediate circle, then that's changing the world. I think that calling somebody who speaks their mind narcissistic, or saying they have a personality disorder because they think they have something important to say, is sad. The person who wrote that sounds like they're pretty articulate and intelligent, and they probably have something worthwhile to say too. So my response would be, you should, that fine. If you don't want me to be one of the only people out there exposing ugly truths about myself for the purpose of creating difficult conversations, then join the conversation. It sounds like they probably have something to say too.
Another comment we have is, but on the previous episode, on the previous interview we had you on, it's by Miss Monica Sylvia. She says, I just don't like how he keeps saying you guys, and we all feel this way. It's frustrating, and you can't, period. You can't thrust your narrative onto people, period. It's almost like he keeps giving hypotheticals until you're forced to agree in a weird, non-factual way. It is strange. I personally agree to that, and I remember the boys agreed a little bit. I'm not sure, but what do you got to say to that?
About projecting what I
No,
think
about
on-
you bringing up a hypothetical always, that is like with the gun or with the island, and until we are forced to agree with you, because those are very specific cases.
Are you sure? I thought the comment was about the projecting.
No, you can read it on Jacob's channel. It says, it's almost like he keeps giving hypotheticals until you're forced to agree in a weird, non-factual way.
Oh, okay, sorry. My connection.
I mean,
send
yeah,
it-
I would
oh,
say
let me
that.
Say that.
Let me just send this in the chat so you guys can make sure I don't paraphrase like MrGirl's so afraid of me doing.
I'm not afraid. You can't be afraid of
You're
something
never,
that already
you're never
happened.
Goes
afraid.
again.
You're
Oh,
never
no, I'm
afraid.
I'm
Oh,
afraid
no.
all the time.
Oh,
I kind of have the sense that Jason, you're not a big fan of MrGirl.
Let's take it off the air. Talk about that off the air. No,
Why?
but here's the
Why-
comment.
But why?
okay. Let's hear what Max has to say to respond to the comment.
Yeah, about the comment from our viewer.
Okay. So it sounds like what she's saying is that by making hypotheticals that force you to agree with them because they are super logical, but at the same time very improbable. So technically I'm right. Technically you agree. She's saying I use that as a mechanism with which to force people to agree to my worldview by saying, oh, you think that it's you would never be attracted to a kid. What if you were blah 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 blah, and then you were trapped on Mars and blah blah blah, and they
I don't
injected
think
you with a
that's what she's
serum?
saying, but-
Let me just
I'm
let
gonna
me, wow,
Let him
me
go.
finish.
Let him go.
What if the Martians injected you with a serum that actually this is a good example. When I was in when I was in high school, I said to one of my friends, we were all driving in a car, and I was like, people were saying like, would you rather fuck your grandmother or like your father? Or it's just like weird questions like that. And I was like, would you fuck your sister if you had to? And he was like, no. And I was like, but you have to. And he was like, no, I wouldn't fuck my sister. And I was like, yeah, but you have to. And he was like, I would just die. I would rather kill myself. And I was like, no, in the hypothetical, you have to. And eventually he was like, okay, I guess if I had to, I would fuck my sister. And I was like, you fucking pervert. I can't believe you'd fuck your sister. What the fuck's wrong with you? So I get what she's saying. I think that's a fair criticism. That
Yeah, you make us agree to a certain situation because you live a person talking, so you know other option, but to
Really?
agree on that
That's-
hypothetical.
This is half the
right?
episode right here.
Yeah.
Putting words in
yeah,
people's
it's true.
mouths.
It's true. But on the other hand, I think that it's a pretty useful tool. The problem is that you can't really decide when someone's doing that fairly or unfairly. I mean,
Yeah.
you're constantly trying to wriggle out of having bad things said about you. If you'd started out the episode with like, yeah, of course, everybody violates somebody else's consent at some point in their life. Of course, everybody.
Yeah, I
is
never argued the opposite. I'm sorry.
If you'd started, well, you're implying.
Oh, if
that-
yeah.
You're
no, I never
implying-
implied.
you're-
No,
well,
look at
well-
you. You're doing the same thing I'm doing. Look at you. Not so perfect
It's
after
true.
all. All right.
It's true. But go on.
I think that. Well, I can prove how you implied it if you want.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think that by saying, giving an example about how you're so communicative with your partners before sex, you imply that you do not violate people's
The
consent.
same way you did about all the examples you brought in the videos, man. It's everybody not without a sin, huh?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that by bringing up how communicative you are with partners, and
Okay.
and that you think you do it in a good way, the implication is that you.
That was one example. I'm not going to debate you on my personal life. Oh, look, I hit you with the
implication-
same thing you hit us with.
The implication is that you're not a rapist,
Of course.
Yeah.
right? So
But
anyway,
what's the
you-
issue with that?
Well, the issue
See,
is
man,
you just said that
you're-
you just said that my implication, that what I said you implied is not true, but now you're
Yeah,
saying it is true.
But
You've implied
no,
that you're
yeah,
not
I
a rapist.
implied in that
that you're
particular
not-
scenario, in that particular scenario that I brought up, that I'm not
no,
a rapist.
the implication about
but I
yourself
agree
broadly is that
that-
you're
that
that you
people-
communicate well, that you care about the
That-
people that you have sex with, you care about
Yeah.
their experience, you care about the Me Too movement and what they're doing.
I feel like also
you accept responsibility for yourself with acts of violence. You presumably don't hit people that you're dating. and that you don't want to fuck kids, right?
Yeah.
Like you've implied all these things about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. But you
And so-
now
and so-
you're
and so-
arguing to hold on. Let me defend myself.
And so
Yeah,
you're going to
brought
defend
two
yourself
points.
that by saying that you
Defend
are
yourself
right.
from what?
Yeah, I
What
just
are you
said that.
defending
I,
yourself
Shut the fuck
from?
up, man. Shut the fuck
let
up.
me
What are you-
let me
listen, you
finish.
have-
Let me-
Jason,
you
listen,
have
let
two-
me
What are you
finish.
defending
You were
yourself
arguing
from?
for
Let me
two.
finish.
No, I'm not going to
Let me finish.
You
Okay.
were arguing about 2 points about me. First of all, not debating that and like claiming that their consent is not black and white, and we have at one point we're not clearly aware of our sexual partner's consent. I never said that. I was bringing a particular hypothetical example of
But
that
in your
particular
hypothetical
scenario
examples,
that we
you are
already.
always
There was
a
one.
non-violent,
There was one example. There was one example.
non-violent, non-rapist, non-pedophile, nice person. And
Because I
you-
need to
that-
counter argue you. Yeah, I need to counter argue you with another hypothetical.
Well,
Those are
so
still.
I'm explaining. You want me to respond to the comment or not?
You already didn't you already? Man? Take
No.
me a while.
Well, I wonder why that is.
H.
Do you want me to
Please
finish or not?
respond.
Go ahead.
Okay, so while I do think it is a valid criticism of my argumentation style, on the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
hypotheticals are necessary to refute the type of argumentation that you do. So if
So the
you
same
had
thing
started,
the same thing I did with my hypotheticals. It's the same argument for both. We can apply it for mine and yours.
I can tell that
So
you don't
y-
want to hear the rest of this. So you don't
Okay.
have to.
No, go ahead. You keep telling
Are
me what
you
I want
able
to do.
to? Are you able to listen to the answer to your own question?
All right, go ahead.
Are you?
Don't need to patronize me. No need to patronize me, King.
I'm actually asking you if you can stand
Go ahead,
listening to
then.
the answer to this question.
You asked me 3 times. I said yes 3 times, but you keep bringing up points that I just need to reply to, man.
I don't think you do. Because I'm telling you, I'm telling you what I think. What I think
Okay.
is that if you had started with,
You keep talking
of
about
course,
me. And I replied to that. I replied to that. You're bringing up the point that I already replied
we could
to.
just, if you don't listen, you gotta decide if you're gonna let me answer this question or you want to
All right,
move
go
on.
ahead.
I'm
Reply.
okay with either
Reply.
one, but I don't want to talk over you.
Go ahead.
Okay. The answer to your question is that hypotheticals are necessary when somebody is claiming to be as clean and pure as you have been. So in the Cuties video, discussion, you're implying that you're not a pedophile, that you never want to fuck a child, that you never have dark or bad thoughts. In this discussion, you're implying that you're not a rapist, that you don't hit people you're dating, and those may all very well be true, and those are admirable qualities. But at the same time, when you are talking about when the whole point of my content is that we're all rapists, we're all pedophiles, we're all murderers, we're either out in the world or just in our heads or in our hearts. There is a dark, sick part of us that I think gets neglected, that we don't talk about, that I'm trying to connect people to by connecting to it in myself and helping other people connect to it in themselves. So when your immediate response to that is like, well, not me, of course I'm going to say, well, hypothetically, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened? And then you're like, well, okay, fine, but like, fuck your argumentation style. I think you're kind of getting away from the whole point of the conversation, which is I'm saying we all have dark parts of us that are difficult to confront.
I never argued that. I never argued.
But let's confront
Yeah.
them together. And your response is, well, actually, you're a fucking
Yeah.
sick rapist, woman
No,
being, child molester.
you want us- you want me to call you that.
Jason,
for a while.
Jason,
He's going in circles
Jason.
at this point.
If your response is not me,
Okay, you just said
I'm going. Then
we get that.
if your response is not me, then I'm of course going to come back with, well, here's the hypothetical where, yes, you.
Yeah, I never argued.
Boom.
I understand your point, Austin.
Put
shut the
that in the
fuck
yearbook.
up. Max. I never argued that we don't have those parts and we don't have those thoughts, and that was actually a thing we all agreed on, that the thoughts happen, but it is. And my main argument has been through and through throughout the episode is that it is our personal accountability and our personal responsibility to like
But we're not
destroy those
talking
thoughts?
about. We're not. Well, I don't think you can destroy your thoughts.
Okay,
And
not
I don't-
destroy, but you know what I mean.
I do. You mean suppress, and I don't think
Suppress.
that we can.
Not
I don't think that.
not suppress
I don't
and
think that
fight
we,
against those thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think we should fight against our thoughts. And
I think we
and
should. I think
I know,
we all
and that
get
is our
those
central
thoughts.
and that is our central disagreement.
All right,
I understand.
Let's,
And it doesn't seem like
we
either
agree
of you
to
guys are going to
disagree.
change each other's mind.
We
you
agree
know?
to disagree.
So what's the point of this conversation?
And one last point I want to bring up, it's overall to cherry on top. I understand your motif. I understand your motivation to produce the type of content you produce. But aren't you afraid that you're giving platform to people who you understand, who covering it by the same intention that you have? I'm not accusing you of anything. Don't worry about it. But what I'm trying to say is that aren't you afraid that you bring platform to people who do commit those acts willingly and in order to just for the sake of the harm and for the sake of the doing
By providing a
raping,
platform, you mean like a defense?
Yeah, you're like encouraging them through defense because what happened, because without having a 2.5 hour long conversation over a couple of days with you, we wouldn't discover some of your points, and that you're actually not a pedophile, not a convicted, sexual sex offender. You're not on whatever the website is. I can't remember to do the bit properly, but the point is, a lot of people took it as you were the pedophile from the video. You don't disagree with that?
Yes.
Like all the drama YouTubers and the people who
I don't know. I don't know how much of that is. I really don't know how
employment.
I don't know how much of that is sincere. I can't tell.
So of course, a lot like we're not gonna lie. We brought you in for clout. Well, not the second time, but and we brought it for your personal interest. And we brought you on, and other people talked about you to just put themselves on the more high ground, as you previously mentioned, and also because they wanted clout by clowning on you. Correct?
Right. So I don't know.
So
how
the
many of those
overall
people
message
actually think I'm a pedophile.
Yeah, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The overall message, whether you want it or not, of people perception of you, is that pedophilia is okay. Basically, I'm talking about specifically about QDC review. That's a perception in the masses because of those YouTubers and because of the outreach. I'm not talking about your message. I'm not talking about how you deliver. I'm talking about the message that got out there and that we see all over the internet, as you like to say. So, don't you afraid that would bring more pedophile apologizers into the light now that you've created not a platform, but you created a movement? Aren't you afraid of I understand that you want good consequence of people reasoning with their actions and uncovering their actions.
If anything, I've created an anti-pedophile movement. So I don't. If the response were people were saying you know what, I think what this guy's saying, I think that I'm going to start abusing my kids. This is really great content. This guy's got a point. Or if people were commenting you know what, I hit my wife for the first time today and it felt great. And I did that thanks to MrGirl. Yes, then I would be worried. But since the people who think they disagree with me agree with me anyway, and then the people who understand what I'm saying, I know it seems like it's kind of unifying people against abusing children, against abusing your spouse, and against rape. Whether you think I'm for those things or not doesn't really matter. So I'm not worried about it now. There have been times in the past where I wrote something that was satirical, pretending to be racist, and then somebody will come up to me and be like, "Oh, I love what you said about fucking black people, man. It's totally true."
The Klan member undercover.
Yeah, that at those times, I do feel oh shit, what did I do? But
you're not gonna regret it though, right? Is that what you're saying?
If I if I inspire somebody to molest their children, yeah, I'm going to regret it. But I don't think that has happened, and I sure hope it doesn't happen.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a great
wait.
note.
Hold on. Don't end just yet, because since we're still in the spirit of responding to comments, there's one that has been going around because it's on every single video that has your name on it. Literally, it's a comment that's on every single one. and I wonder if you've seen it yet.
Probably not.
Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to read it out to you. A few months before the pandemic, I went to a live art session with a friend, and this guy was the nude model. Everything was all fine and good until the end of the night when he decided to stay and chat with everyone. He was trying to show everyone his new merch for his YouTube channel that his girlfriend designed, which was his face with a hood and a gun pointing at you saying, "Drop your panties." It took me by surprise and was honestly extremely triggering, being someone who's been sexually harassed and assaulted. I expressed this to him, and it turned into a back and forth about how maybe I'm just far too sensitive to it, and that other women probably wouldn't be offended by it. Anyways, my friend and I go home and look up his channel, and I stumble upon a video about him talking about how he has always had a fetish about nude modeling for women and feeling like women who go to live painting sessions just go to be sexually aroused, and that he finds arousal out of doing those sessions. It grossed me out so fucking much and made me feel so violated because I just painted his naked body for the last 3 hours without knowing he was just getting off to the whole thing. On top of it, having that interaction about his new merch idea, that basically was a depiction of what a rape looks like, in my opinion. I think about this man often and how much my interaction and that video truly disturbed me and just made me feel really bad. I don't know anything about him other than that. I really hope his channel doesn't do well.
Wow. Your hope is
Santa Claus heard her prayers.
He sure did. Congratulations.
So did this actually happen?
Yeah, that's a true story. I would never have thought about that again if you had not told me just now.
Holy shit. I mean, I'm not going to say that because it's not inherently bad. You know, it's like, I'm not calling you a bad guy, but
We're all bad guys.
Don't you think it's pretty fucked up to say that someone being, I mean, I don't, wait, did she, okay, yeah, she did tell you that she was sexually harassed and assaulted, but why would you then argue that she was just too sensitive about it?
I don't think I said that. I think I said something like, my content and I think she was saying, like, if somebody sees this, have you seen the shirt?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I have not.
It's
You can see
basically
it.
his profile picture lying down with a gun, I think, and it says "Drop your panties," right?
It says
Hold
"Take
on.
your panties off." So
Okay.
it's on. I think it's on my website if you want to look at it, the T-shirt. But it's from a frame of the video I made when I bought my first gun, and I was like playing with it. I pointed at the camera and I said, "Take your panties off." My girlfriend really liked it and made a T-shirt out of it. Oh, I made a joke about making a T-shirt out of it, but then she actually designed a T-shirt based on it, and it's a pretty cool shirt. You guys should buy one. Anyway, I was excited about it. She's an artist. I showed people the shirt because they were asking me about my YouTube channel. It's like after you model for people, especially like a more informal like thing where they have like wine and cheese and shit, they will come up to you afterward and like ask you about like what you do in your life and other shit you do. So she was chatting with me, and I told her about the YouTube channel, my girlfriend, and she was asking me about her art. And I think there was like two or three of us talking, and she said, "Oh, that shirt would be really triggering. I don't think you should sell that shirt," basically. And I was like, I understand that, but like the channel is really small, and the people who watch my content, I think, understand that I'm not pro rape, or that the shirt isn't even really about rape. I said I have a very weird relationship with my subscribers where they're like sort of afraid of me, but sort of like have a crush on me in like a weird way. And so me telling them to take their panties off was like just kind of like a crowd pleasing moment where I'm just kind of like fucking with them. And the shirt's about that. It's not really about like me going around raping people. And she said,
Yeah,
well,
but- Yeah, my bad.
and she was like, I've been assaulted, and so it's really triggering for me. And I was like, yeah, I can understand why that is. And, I've never worn this shirt out in public. So obviously I agree with her to some degree. Although it's also weirder because it is my own face.
But like
makes
some
it-
people, well, by I think what she meant is that by selling that outside of your channel, you're bringing that image outside of the inside joke that you have with the subscribers. And she meant that that's the damaging effect that the short can produce. So
Sure. I mean, like if you've been raped or assaulted, one awful thing about that is that shit's going to remind you of it for the rest of your life. And it's a horrible thing. Do I think that my girlfriend should avoid making shirts that are gonna remind people of trauma they've experienced? Like, no, the whole fucking channel is like a triggering thing, whether you intentionally watch it or not. I'm putting things out there that are going to freak people out and horrify them.
I think a trigger warning for your channel wouldn't hurt. Like in the description somewhere. I feel like it wouldn't hurt.
Just make it the channel trailer.
Anybody
like
anybody going to my channel at this point knows.
No, but in general,
they know what they're getting into.
It's rarely somebody, especially now, would discover you on their recommended page. But I don't know. I feel like it would suit. All right. I think we went way over time. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.
We want to close off by inviting you to join a conspiracy theory group that we have just assembled. This theory group is going to expose the very secret war that MrGirl is fighting against Fortnite aimbotters. This is our truth. This is IAnon. Join us or die. Goodbye.
We're also going to be hunting
And also
down for the
subscribe.
ghost that is putting alphabet soup in people's mouths, essentially putting words in other people's mouths.
Oh.
We have to find them.
All right, that's it. Subscribe.
You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to. That's fine. We got
Bye-bye.
this.
But you do have to subscribe to me.